Hi, my name is Amy K. Watson, and I'm guessing that you chose this video because you have a history of being that star performer, that miracle worker that your boss counts on. Your boss knows that if she needs something, she can call on you and you will figure it out. She knows that even if you don't do it yourself, even if you can't do it yourself, you'll figure out how to get it done. You'll find the person, you'll find the expert. You will make it happen so that she doesn't have to worry about it. That has been your legacy, and it's something that you've been proud of. And it's just not going to work anymore. For whatever reason, maybe you got a promotion, and so now you have new responsibilities. And for some reason, she still has this same expectation. Or maybe something has happened with your family or with your community, or even with yourself, your personal health, maybe your mental health, maybe a global pandemic, maybe working from home, whatever it might be. You can't be that miracle worker anymore, but you feel like you're supposed to be that miracle worker. So this is for you. I'm just going to invite you to get centered in your chair, maybe find that place of balance between left and right, between forward and back. Bring yourself up to your full height with both feet flat on the floor. Allow yourself to take up space and take a deep breath. Take a few deep belly breaths, just drawing that air in all the way down into the stomach cavity, and then slowly letting that out. Allowing yourself this moment just for you. And just acknowledge as you feel the anxiety that you should be doing something else, that you should be active, that you should. Just notice those messages coming up. Just notice them and say, thank you for working so hard for me. I'm going to come back to it. This moment is just for me. So taking another deep breath and noticing any tension in your body. Perhaps you feel tension in your torso, perhaps tension in your shoulders. You might even feel tension in your face. Perhaps there's tension in your lower back or even upper back. Just tune into it, be aware of it, and invite it to soften. And say to yourself, thank you. Thank you for working so hard. Thank you for giving so much attention and care in service to others. Thank you for your willingness to extend yourself and to make life easier for others. Thank you. And thank you for noticing that this is not sustainable anymore. Thank you for waking up and recognizing that things have to change. I'll just invite you to place your hands on your heart and say thank you. Thank you for noticing that I need help. Taking deep breaths, drawing the air down into your lower belly, letting it out slowly. Now, I'll invite you to reflect on your work, your home life, your family, your community, anything that you're involved in. And your own personal health. And as you reflect on these different domains, notice where most of your effort and energy has been going. And if you were to divide up a pie between these 4 domains, perhaps the largest piece of that pie is going to work, or has been. And perhaps there's a somewhat smaller piece that's been devoted to family, and a smaller yet piece that is devoted to your community, and the smallest piece devoted to yourself. That's just one possible configuration. How would you like it to be? What do you need now? Which piece of the pie needs to be the biggest, based on what you see now as being what is most important in your life? Perhaps you've decided that your family piece of that pie needs to be the biggest. And maybe the second biggest piece of the pie needs to be yourself and your personal care, your personal health. Maybe the third biggest piece of the pie does need to be your job, and you still want a reasonably big size piece for your community, but you recognize it's the smallest piece. So there's not one piece that's taking up half the pie. Maybe they're closer to quarter sections, but it's a different configuration. Now, I've offered some possibilities, but what would the divisions be for you? What needs to increase? What needs to decrease for you? Now, it could be that as you consider the possibility of making this change, that you feel anxiety coming up again because it just feels impossible. You know that people have expectations of you, and you recognize that you've been contributing for years to the creation of those expectations. And so the very idea of changing what you do just feels alarming, because you feel so certain that there's going to be pushback, and you've been avoiding that pushback for so long, and it just feels so frightening to consider facing that pushback. Just notice whatever is coming up and allow yourself to feel that feeling. It's probably very uncomfortable. It's okay. You have been putting yourself in uncomfortable places for so long. You are totally capable of feeling this feeling. Now, as you consider that new pie, the new way that you would like your day to go, the new priorities you would like to have, let's just consider that that's the ideal. That's the area or the division that you're moving towards. It's not what's going to happen tomorrow, but you want to move in that direction. So what might be one thing that you could do to just take a step? You know, that new pie might be a 10 out of 10. That's perfect. That's the way you want it to be. Where do you feel like you are right now? How are things on that same scale of 1 to 10? You know what a 10 is like. You know what it's like right now. Where would you put your current experience? Is it a 3? Is it a 2? Is it a 5? And then just imagine that one step up. If currently what you're experiencing is a 4, what would a 5 look like? Perhaps it would look like setting up a meeting with your boss and having a level set conversation. You might send an agenda in advance and say, I need to talk about all of my priorities and how things have changed for me. And I'd like to ask for your help in figuring out how to make things change enough so that I can do what I need to do. Maybe that's not a conversation you can have, but maybe there's something else that is doable for you. As you think about the life that you want to have, the way you want things to be, think about how you want to feel. Think about how you want others around you to feel. And then just imagine, what's the best case scenario? If everything went really great, what would that look like? This is an important question because we are so problem oriented and we worry so much about things going wrong. But when you think about what if it went really well, what would that look like? That actually helps us to become creative. Rather than solving a problem, we create a solution. So just reflect for a moment. What would success look like if it was really great? And what step can you take today or tomorrow to begin to create that outcome, that scenario? As I bring this to a close, I want to remind you of the Serenity Prayer. It's written in the middle of the 20th century, and it's used to this day in 12-step groups and by therapists and by coaches all over the world. And it simply goes, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Take another deep breath. When you're ready, open your eyes. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for listening. And as you consider how you're going to change your life, how you want things to be, I invite you to really think about what's in your control. What can you do? And focus there. So that's what I have for you today in this video. If this worked for you, I ask that you please give it a thumbs up. That really actually helps me out. It lets me know that you want more content like this. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below and anything else you might like me to create a guided meditation for next. And subscribe if you want to. Until the next one, I'm holding you in my heart.